Hello friends, Pete the drummer here, and this is my 1985 Honda Aero 80 scooter, which for the past 32 years has been sitting in a garage untouched. It has not run since 1987, and in this video, I'm going to get this thing back on the road. Keep watching. Now, friends, of course, when I say I'm going to get it back on the road, it's not exactly me. I know enough to change the oil in my car and maybe do some brake work and filters and whatnot. But considering this has not run in 32 years, I don't feel that I'm qualified to tear apart the engine uh, and see what's going on in there. So I did find a couple of scooter shops, one here in New Jersey, another one up in Connecticut. I haven't even contacted them yet. I am still very much in the preliminary stages of getting this thing back on the road. First off, I need a key for it. So today, all I'm going to do is crack open the front part here and get the ignition barrel out, because apparently there is a code that I need that's on the ignition barrel. And I found a guy on eBay that says he can cut me a key if he's got the code. So that's what I'm going to do today. I also need to get a battery for it. And whenever that comes in, I'll check to make sure that all the electronics work. At that point, if I can get a key and if the electronics work, then I'll start making some phone calls and I'll have this brought to a shop to really check things out. So for now, I have to take off this front cowling and get to that ignition bolt. All right, guys, and you can see right here, this right there is the ignition barrel. Here's the lead that comes down, and it's electrical connector, so I got to undo that. And it looks like there's two 10mm screws under here that I have to undo. So let me get those out first. Okay, friends, with the ignition barrel off, I took off this mounting bracket, and the code that I need, I think, is stamped right in there. I doubt you're going to see that very well on camera. Probably not going to be able to focus. Now I have to see if I can get the key made and get a battery for the bike. Okay, friends, well, it's been a couple of weeks, and I'm happy to say that I was able to get a key made. So what I did, for anyone who might be in a similar situation, I just did a basic Google search for replacement Honda scooter key, and a link to an eBay store, or whatever you want to call it, came up. And basically it's this guy that just has this ongoing eBay sale. And he just says in the instructions of the eBay sale, he just says to contact him with the code off the barrel, and if he can make a key, then you just PayPal it, and there you go. So I did that. I gave him the code that I found on the ignition barrel, and he said he could make it. So I sent him 20 bucks, and well, this is only one key, but I bought two new keys from him. So let's see if the key works. The ignition is currently in the off position. So, and it works. What's this? Oh, that's the lock position. Okay. All right. So the key works. Let's make sure I can get under the seat. should be the same key, so that goes here. Hey, look at that. All right. Step one is done. So in addition to the key, I also got a brand new battery. And what I'm going to do now is hook up the battery and just see if all the electronics still work. I don't know. I don't even know if this battery comes charged. I'm assuming it does. So, and it comes with hardware too. That's cool. All right, let's get the battery installed. Okay guys, so now with the battery installed, assuming the battery is charged, which I'm not sure if it is or isn't, I should just be able to plug the ignition barrel back in, turn it on, hit the run button, and, or maybe if I just, whatever, the light should come on when I plug this in and turn it on. So fingers crossed, here we go. I'm not going to bother reconnecting or, reinstalling everything. Whew, I'm nervous. Hey, the horn works. That means the battery has got power. But my headlights don't work. Okay, guys, back with another update after that. So, the blinkers do work. Let me see. Am I in the run position? I'm in the run position. Check it out. Maybe they don't work. Well, they kind of work. But the headlight does not work, and it's in the run position. When I hit the start button, I got nothing. It doesn't even crank. So I'm wondering, though, if maybe the battery, which obviously has some power, it might just not be fully charged. So I'm going to go home and charge up the battery, and we'll try this another time. Okay, guys, it's been about a week since the last segment that you just watched, and a couple of things happened in the course of that week. Number one, I watched a video on YouTube where a guy starts up his mid-80s Honda Helix scooter, not the same scooter as what I have. This is an Aero 80. He started up his Honda Helix, and to do so, he had to hit the little foot pedal, the foot brake pedal that the Helix had on it. Now, my scooter does not have a foot brake pedal. It only has the two hand brakes. And honestly, I don't remember ever having to hold down the brake lever in order to start this thing. On the other hand, I haven't started this scooter since 1987. That's 32 years ago from the time I'm filming this. So maybe that's it. Who knows? Second thing, I put a battery tender on my brand new little battery here. The bad news there is the little indicator light that would tell me that this is fully charged. It came on, it turned green or whatever in like 10 minutes. Now I know this is a teeny tiny little battery, but the fact that it was indicating fully charged so quickly tells me that this was pretty fully charged when I tried to start it in the last segment. So that tells me that it's possible there's some other stuff going on that's preventing the bike from cranking. So we'll see. I'm going to get to installing the battery again into its little battery compartment a little bit later. The first thing I want to do is take off all of these plastics and expose the engine. I don't know, I really don't know a whole lot about engines, but I think I know enough that if I see something obviously wrong, I should be able to identify it. At least I hope so. I just want to take a look first. So for now, I'm just going to try and take off all the body panels. I don't know how to do that, but I'm seeing a bunch of 10mm bolt heads here on the floor panel and right here under the seat. So I can't imagine it's that difficult. Plus, I mean, for servicing purposes, it's got to be fairly simple to get to the engine. So that's where I'm at. But before I leave here tonight, I am going to rehook up the battery and we're going to try and start it again. We'll see what happens. All right, keep watching. All right, guys. I flipped my camera around so I can use the flash so that we can all see it a little bit better. And as you can see right there, there's remnants of a mouse nest. And there's all sorts of debris all in there. So I think I need or should probably vacuum that out. All right, so I did some vacuuming, but there's still a good amount of schmutz and stuff in there. I think this is the air cleaner. And that. And yeah, that's the air cleaner. Look at that, air cleaner completely fell apart because there's oil in there. I really don't know what I'm doing, guys. But all the wires look okay. None of the wires look like they've been chewed through by whatever little critter was living here. All right, guys. So I can't see anything glaringly obvious that might indicate why it wouldn't start. So fingers crossed, it was a combination of either the battery was too low or maybe I simply wasn't holding down the brake. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the battery again. I don't remember if the headlight is supposed to come on automatically or not. I think it is supposed to, but who knows? And once I get the battery hooked up, we'll try to start it. All right, guys, well, there's immediately some good news. As you can see, the tail light is on. Let's check the turn signals. Turn signals are on. Brake light works. All right. Here we go, fingers crossed. Let's see if this thing is going to start. It cranked. It cranked. All right, friends. Well, for now, before I end this section of the video, the gas tank probably needs to be replaced because when I remove the cap, that's not good. And if you could see into there, you can't see it. It's all rusted in there. The gas that is currently in this tank has been sitting in this tank for 32 years. Okay, friends, back with another update. It's been about another week since the last segment, and in that time I have procured through eBay a used gas tank that is in pretty good shape. You're not going to be able to see that in there, but it's pretty clean in there. So, new gas tank. Now, what I've already done off camera, I found the two little bullet connectors from the float, and I've disconnected the float, but I'm keeping it in there because there's, when I was working on this last week, it filled this whole room with gas fumes. So I don't want to open the old tank. But now what I'm going to try and do, and I realize this is going to smell a little bit, but I'm going to take the petcock out and the four 10mm bolts, and I'm going to try and swap the tank. So here we go. Okay, new used gas tank currently installed. The way I did it is wrong, but I got it in and I got the petcock threaded back on. So, next step. The next step is to clean off the float. I'm going to use a baking soda vinegar solution and try and get that as clean as possible. Then I got to figure out the gas cap. I'm going to try and clean my old one, see how it turns out. Otherwise, I'll try to find a new one. And then after that, I'll drain the oil that's currently in there and put fresh oil, fresh gas, charge up the battery, and try and start it. Oh, and a new spark plug. I'll get a new spark plug in there as well. Okay, friends, back with another segment. It's been so long, I honestly don't remember what I accomplished in the last segment, but I've got the new used gas tank installed. I've got the gas cap as clean as I can get it. What is left of the float mechanism, I basically just turned it into a plug to plug the hole. The float's not going to work anyway. So it doesn't matter. I had to special order these spark plugs because look at the end. The end, it's not threads. It looks like threads. It's ribbed or barbed, but it's just a very old spark plug. So the oil tank is drained. I've got some fresh two-stroke oil. I've got a gallon of gasoline. And I have a can of starting fluid. So I got to get this installed. I got to put the plug for the float in place. I got to put some oil in the oil tank and some gas in the gas tank. And then we're going to move this operation outside, and I'm going to try and start it. So we'll see. All right, you can watch along as I do this. Okay guys, so in addition to filming this video, I've been sending Snapchats to my family who is familiar with this old scooter, and in the Snapchat that I just sent to them, which obviously I couldn't record simultaneously, this thing ran. It took a while to start, but it did run. So it ran for about 5-10 seconds and then it conked out. I'm thinking maybe there's a fuel line clogged or something like that, and it was just running off the starter fluid. And by now the battery's getting pretty low. So I'm going to try it again. No promises, but I assure you it did run just a few seconds ago. So let's see what happens. And so as you can hear, it runs for a few seconds. It accelerates under the throttle, which means the carburetor, I think that means the carburetor's okay, but I don't think it's getting fuel. So probably one of these fuel lines is clogged. And at this point, there's really nothing else I can do. So now I got to make a call to the scooter shop that I found, and I got to make arrangements to get this up to the scooter shop. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's more content on this old scooter coming, I promise.